Season 20 has brought us a lot of amazing artifact mods that really bring out the power of our new subclass Strand, as well as Solar and Void, which sort of leaves Arc and Stasis in the dust. On top of that, Arc Warlocks aren't in the best place PvE wise. However, with this build utilizing the Fallen Sunstar exotic helmet, which improves our ionic traces and gives us more energy from them, you can have some pretty insane ability spam, allowing you to do a ton of ad clear. If you enjoy the video, a like and subscription means a ton and helps out a lot. Now let's get into it. Starting in our subclass, as always, we have the Chaos Reach for our super, since Storm Trance isn't too great in PvE. We follow that up with Healing Rift, the Glide of your choice, Chain Lightning, and then Pulse Grenades. The reason for Chain Lightning over Ball Lightning is due to the fact that Chain Lightning jolts targets, which is integral to our build. Pulse Grenades are my choice here, as they recently saw a 20% damage buff with the launch of Lightfall. Our aspects are going to be Arc Soul, which gives us the Arc Soul when we cast our Rift, and this Arc Soul will fire at targets around us and shoot at a faster rate when we are amplified. Electrostatic Mind is next, which allows us to create ionic traces by defeating jolted or blinded targets, hence why we have Chain Lightning, as well as the Fragment to jolt enemies with our grenades, and the one that creates Blinding Explosion with Arc Special Weapon Final Blows while amplified. This pairs into the Fallen Sunstar perfectly, as its exotic perk, Ionic Conductor, improves our ionic traces, making them move faster and giving us additional ability energy from them, while also giving nearby allies ability energy when we collect one. Our fragments will start with the Spark of Shock, which jolts enemies with our grenades, while taking a -10 hit to Discipline. Next is the Spark of Discharge, which gives Arc Weapon Final Blows the chance to spawn an ionic trace, while also taking a -10 hit to our strength stat. Third is the Spark of Beacons, which allows our Arc Special Weapon Final Blows to create a blinding explosion when amplified, creating more ionic traces thanks to our aspect Electrostatic Mind. Lastly, we have the Spark of Magnitude, which makes our Arc Grenades last longer. Just looking at the subclass alone here, you can see how it all synergizes very well, and it allows for some pretty powerful ability spam here. One thing to note though is that since the Arc Warlock supers are just so lackluster for damage, you kind of want to think of it as a fourth ability in a sense, and not as a super. So whenever you get your super, you could just use it to clear ads or to finish off a champion, since they don't do a ton of boss damage anyways. Now let's move on over to stat recommendations for this build. I would recommend focusing into Resilience as a top priority, since you get a 30% damage resistance just by having 100 Resilience. Next, Recovery and Discipline, as those two will get your Rift back faster and your grenades back faster, allowing you to chain even more abilities. When it comes to the weapons in this build, you have a few options. The best option here is the Delicate Tomb Exotic Fusion Rifle, as it creates an ionic trace on final blows with that weapon, which is the main point of this build. However, if you don't have that, then I would recommend a special weapon with Volt Shot, such as the Iterative Loop Fusion Rifle from Neomuna, the Path of Least Resistance Trace Rifle from Season of the Seraph, or if you don't want to rock a Volt Shot weapon, then Forbearance is a great choice. The main reason for an Arc Special here is to build into our fragment that allows us to create blinding explosions when amplified with Arc Special Weapon Final Blows. For your heavy, go with an Arc weapon such as the Hothead Rocket Launcher here, or something along those lines to utilize Arc weapon damage. For the kinetic, anything is really good here, it's up to you. Now finally, for our armor mods. On the helmet, we're going to go with an Ashes to Asset, a Dynamo, and an Arc Siphon. In order for you to have these three on, you need to have the Authorized Mods Grenades Artifact perk. These mods will allow us to get our super back faster from both grenade final blows, popping our Rift near enemies, while creating orbs with Arc Weapon Final Blows. The gauntlets are going to have Bolstering Detonation, Impact Induction, and Firepower. This will give us Rift energy from dealing damage with a grenade, grenade energy from dealing damage with our melee, and then create orbs with our grenade final blows. The chest piece can have either 2 charged ups to increase the amount of armor charges we can carry up to 4 or 5, or you can have 1 charged up and a resistance mod, or a reserves mod. The choice is up to you. Our boots are going to have 2 arc weapon surges, so we can utilize our armor charges to increase our arc weapon damage by 18%. Finally, the class item will have a Reaper, as well as a Time Dilation, so we can create orbs with weapon final blows after casting our Rift, as well as an increase from 10 seconds to 15 seconds for our decaying armor charges. When we take our already ability spammy subclass and exotic and pair it with the armor mods we have slotted, you can see that this build is actually an incredibly strong build, even though the Arc subclass on Warlock isn't the best in the current sandbox. I really enjoy using this build as it is a ton of fun to use, and since you also give allies ability energy from Ionic Traces thanks to the Fallen Sunstar exotic perk, it's a great support player build as well. If you enjoyed the video, again, a like and subscription means a ton to me. If you want to check out some more of my content, both my TikTok and Twitch will be linked in the description below. I hope to see you pop into a stream one day. I appreciate you all for making it to the end of the video. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.